Hello virtual hunters and welcome to the first episode in a new series coming to the channel where we will be taking an in-depth look at every weapon in the Hunter Call of the Wild. From stats to history and even use case scenarios, no stone will be left unturned. Today we are taking a look at everybody's first love, the Ranger 243. Welcome to the gun bench. The Ranger 243 is a magazine-fed, bolt-action rifle chambered in the now famous 243 Winchester cartridge. Both in-game and in real life, the caliber excels in harvesting medium-sized game like deer, hogs, and coyotes. Let's take a look at the real-life counterpart and the history behind the gun. According to the wiki, the Ranger 243 is modeled after the Winchester Model 70 Ranger, which was the budget-friendly, low-featured version of the classic Model 70. The Model 70 was... Hey, next slide. Thank you. You can't find good help these days. What was I saying? Oh, right. The Model 70 was first introduced by the Winchester Repeating Arms Company in 1936 as a variation of the M1917 that they were commissioned to make for the First World War. After the war, modifications were made and the first Model 70 was introduced. After it's released, it was an instant commercial success, finding its way into hands of outdoorsmen all over the world, earning it the nickname, the Rifleman's Rifle. Now, our in-game Ranger 243 does differ from its real-life counterpart in several key areas. First and foremost, the stock offered on the original Ranger model was not pretty, nor was it fancy, with carbon fiber trim like the one in the Call of the Wild. The bolt is also different than the original, being fluted and sporting a different bolt shroud towards the rear. The final difference is the magazine. The one in-game features a detachable box mag, whereas the real-life Model 70 has an internal push-fed system. Though there are bottom metal conversion kits, this is not standard for production models. I think it's safe to say that the in-game version has been updated for the modern hunter. Now let's switch up gears for a moment and take a look at the actual in-game rifle and the stats that come along with it. The Ranger 243 is one of 3 starting weapons that every hunter obtains when starting the game. No DLC, no in-game cash. If you've ever hit that new game button, this rifle is in your gun cabinet right now. Accuracy is a 78, which is noticeably higher than another common early game rifle, the 270, but the 243 lacks the knockdown power that cartridge brings to the table. Recoil is a very manageable 46, allowing for average paced follow-up shots. A reload speed of 49 is very middle of the road, a hip shot accuracy of 76% when you decide you want to 360 no-scope a whitetail, and a 5-round box magazine as we talked about earlier. Now let's dive into how the Ranger 243 actually performs in-game. As like most rifle cartridges, the 243 round comes in 2 variations. The soft point rounds have great expansion and are absolutely free. It's the only round in the game that you can go buy 1,000 of for nothing. They are fine, and they're great for getting starting cash, but I recommend buying polymer tips as soon as possible due to the major boost in penetrating power. And the reason for this is that expansion is not modeled very well in the Hunter Call of the Wild. It is much more important to hit more vital organs than it is for the slug to expand. The polymer tip rounds are much more prone to getting through multiple organs, like taking a single lung and turning it into a double lung on a broadside shot, going through a liver and a lung on a quartering away, or even crashing through hard bone and still getting to the lungs on a quartering to or a head-on shot. In the early game, a polymer tip can be the difference between a successful recovery and a 20-minute track job that leads to nowhere. The 243 round is ethical for classes 2 through 6, being effective on everything from red fox to red deer, but it does struggle with penetration on animals that are at the higher end of its ethical range, like caribou and wolves. You know, sturdier things. But it is considered best in class for stopping power for classes 2 and 3, like coyote, fox, pronghorn, and roe deer. For those larger animals, you'll want to aim for safe, broadside shots within 150 meters to deliver enough energy for that double lung shot that we're all looking for. The 243 round has a fairly average bullet drop, and just like every weapon in the game, I suggest going to the Hirschfelden shooting range and practicing to learn aim points for your particular setup. Don't practice until you get it right, practice until you can't get it wrong. For more information on bullet drop, I'm linking my long-range shooting guide in the description of this video that goes over bullet drop, aim points, controlling scope sway, and a whole lot more. If it has anything to do with long-range shooting, it's in that video, and if you're new to the game, I would say it's a must-watch. As far as using the Ranger 243 beyond the early game, I find myself gravitating towards it, and you can often find it in my loadout for my class 2 and 3 weapon, especially when I'm feeling masochistic and decide to pick up my Red Fox grind. It's a perfect gun for taking any fox that I want to keep integrity on, like a diamond or a rare, or yeah, it's what I would use to take the great one.
If I had one! Sorry.
For normal hunts, I bounce between the 243 and the 22-250 from the Emerald Coast DLC. The 22-250 has a flatter shooting capability, but it's really hard to argue with the knockdown power of the 243 Winchester round. But again, I only use the polymer tips. The soft points are garbage. The Ranger's iron sights are decent, but you'll want to equip a scope whenever possible, and it will take any universal rifle scope in the game. Now, the biggest mistake I see a lot of new players make with this rifle is thinking that it has way more power than it actually does, and taking hard quartering 2 shots, and it does not have the power to crack through that bone, and you are going to be sitting there scratching your head trying to figure out why your animal is running 300 meters before finally dying. So make sure to choose your shots carefully, especially before you get the upgraded ammo. The Ranger 243 is a rifle that you were forced to use in the beginning, and for that reason alone, it gets a lot of unjust hate. The 243's knockdown power combined with familiar handling and cheap ammunition makes it a viable option for both level 1 players and level 60 alike. It is truly the jack of all trades, master of none. Join me next time at the Gun Bench, where we'll take a look at the best-selling shotgun of all time. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.